All right, so there you heard it, very extensive reports there by my colleagues. Let me begin this conversation with, I have with me on the broadcast Dr. P.S. Rao, I also have with me Sharad Kohli and Sumit Ped. Absolutely. Sharad, let me bring you into the conversation. Like I said, it's very difficult to, of course, understand the pain of the families who've lost their loved ones in this tragedy. But at the same time, to see this sort of speedy action as far as compensation is concerned is very refreshing, because we've not had a very good track record when it comes to compensation, and one has to realize, yes, immediate rescue is important, but a big part of relief and recovery is actually having the money in your bank account, or having the cash that you may need, that once you've maybe even been discharged from hospital, in terms of your medication, or even to just run the house while a person is recovering, all of this makes a huge difference.
You're asking me, Devika?
Yes, Sharad.
Yes, Devika, I think a very welcome move. There's no doubt about it. I mean, nobody can compensate the loss of life. The family can never be compensated for the loss of life. There's no doubt about that. But I think this financial help coming at the right time, rather quickly. I think this is obviously to help. I have here, Devika, one suggestion is because the survivors of the victims, when they go and approach, there is one proof which you need to give, which is that you have to show your relation to the family. Now, all the people may not be having a very handy document or something to show that, so was my son, was my daughter, was my father, was my brother, sister, whatever. So, those survivors' documents, I think if some kind of probably effort can be made to draw out a family tree, or to draw out the family connection for that matter, I think that will help the people who are not carrying the document. That's my one suggestion. My second suggestion is that when you're giving out 9.5 lakhs, 10 lakhs or 2 lakhs coming from, the Prime Minister's Relief Fund, some money coming from the Chief Minister also. See what happens with these families, especially the poorer families, the money lands in their bank account, and immediately the children or the relatives, they grab it. So I think one more step which can be done is that you could tell them that where should they invest, so that they start generating monthly income. Because these were the sole bread earners.
Right.
So once having lost the sole bread earner, I think they will be in a position to probably not to buy the next month's ration. So I think, and if an advice can be given that this is where you invest, say for example, post office monthly income scheme, which takes about 9 to 10 lakhs, now up to 15 lakhs. Tell them that you start getting monthly income of that much amount. I think if that help can also be given, either subsequently or immediately thereafter, or maybe at spot, I think that will, because in these kind of families, Devika, I have noticed that the moment money lands, the relatives will try and distribute. They will not be able to invest it, because they'll be in a state of shock. So they may not be in a position to invest or take a right decision in terms of finance. So that's my advice. And then PM Suraksha, you mentioned about, Devika, PM Suraksha Bima, I think it should be availed 12 rupees per annum. Is the only price, and 2 lakh rupees is what you get. I think this is every single people coming from weaker section, they must do PM Suraksha Bima. People from 18 years to 70 years are eligible to enroll for that. So if people who are watching this program, or wherever this message is reaching, I would suggest please convey to the people who work for you, people who come from the weaker section, that they must get this PM Suraksha Bima Yojana immediately, and whatever money is coming to you, please make sure that it is used prudently. Don't just go and spend on things which go missing from your life. Make it as a money.
Okay. Sharad, I'm running out of time, but I'll leave the last word with you. Sumit has also raised some good suggestions. But when we talk about, 20 rupees insurance for the poor, the government did an experiment as far as LPG cylinders were concerned, and we were quite surprised to know that people who didn't want or didn't need that extra LPG cylinder actually came in and said, okay, someone who's needier than me can use it. Perhaps a similar model can also be used as far as these sort of initiatives are concerned. Like I said, I may not be able to cover 500,000 people, but at least the 10 people around me who are my support system back at home, I can help them.
Yes, I think, Sumit's suggestions come from the point of view of that, so that everybody is covered. But you're right. I mean, sometimes when you give a blanket cover to everybody, there are chances of things getting misused. I think probably that may be the logic to collect this nominal amount from. I have one more suggestion, Devika, just before I sign off, which is that there are 275 people or 280 odd people who we've lost. I think so we are talking of 280 families, or maybe there may be more than one from one family, so there could be
Yes.
200 families. I would suggest that government can take one step forward where children of these people who've lost their bread earners, their mother and father, and their children left behind, I think that children can be educated on state sectors. That's my first. My second point, if they have left their old parents behind, those parents look after can be taken over by the state. I think these will be humanitarian, or I would also volunteer a lot of NGOs who work in India. They should come forward, adopt these families, see who's been lost, if they've lost the bread earner, if they've lost the head of the family, if parents are lost. I think these NGOs or states should come forward to rehabilitate these families, to look after these families for rest of the life. I think this will be a very humble gesture, and it will go a long way in bringing back the family. Otherwise, they are devastated at a personal level already. And to be devastated and left on the road, you never know that this family may be left on the road for the next few years till the children grow up. Who's going to look after their children, and so on and so forth. So I think a proper rehab program, if this is drawn by the government, that will be a very welcome move. That will also be a unprecedented move, I would say, Devika.
Right, absolutely. We've had some very good suggestions there coming in from all of our panelists, and we've had a very important conversation. Like I said, this really sets the template for how we need to act and how swiftly we need to respond in the future. But this is not where our own adaptations and inventions end. We have to completely just continue the cycle of improving, and of course, we believe that New India will be able to do so. On that note, a very short break.